Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another real review. It's been a busy week on this channel. A couple reactions, now a couple reviews, a couple shorts. Like, what is this? It's like we're a functioning YouTube channel.
Mm.
But I'm excited to be back here because this is one of those reviews where Jeff and I actually get to do it together.
And it's a Warner Brothers release,
It's
which
a
is
Warner
so
Brothers
weird
release.
for you.
Yeah, it's not totally weird, but it's more sporadic for me.
That's what I mean, like compared to the access that I can get for Warner Brothers in my area.
Yes. But we're here to talk about The Bride because here comes the motherfucking bride. And I'm just doing that because of YouTube censors. If we end up monetized.
It's all right. It's censoring it down there too.
Yeah.
So.
Eventually, if we end up monetized, if I say it too early in the video, it'll demonetize it. So hey. But no. Jeff, before we get started, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about this movie.
You say that with a laugh.
I do say it with a laugh. It is a lot of there's a lot of things that one can touch on when talking about this movie, and I feel like half those things are like kind of spoilerific as to what makes me feel certain ways about it.
I would agree.
It
probably.
It's I don't know. I'm a very talkative person, and I feel like I'm at a loss for words on how to introduce this other than, hey, it's The Bride. It's not a retelling. It is just an inspired by more. I don't know how to describe it really. Even as it's a Bride of Frankenstein movie. It's about the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster.
And because it isn't a retelling, but it is at the same time. And listen. The thing we'll come off the bat saying is this movie takes some massive and wild swings. Like
I think the way that I logged it on Letterboxd as one does nowadays, and my tweet reaction thing to it, it was all pretty much like the same thing, and it was, I don't know if it came off as vaguely positive, negative, kind of questionable, which maybe that's how I feel about this. But it is, I, for one, I love a wild swing. I love a wild swing in a movie. But what does a movie look like when they don't take a wild swing, but they take like 5 wild swings at the same time? I love ambition. Ambition doesn't always necessarily follow through when it comes to quality, though.
So, is this something you would at least rewatch, even though you're not?
Yes. So I maybe, I'd give it time, maybe watch with people that hadn't seen it.
Like your wife.
Let's get into it real quick. Let's just what it is. It's a story of a young woman named Ida who dies, and
which by the way, I do want to say kudos to the trailer for making you think it was going to happen one way, and it doesn't happen that way at all. So I appreciated that.
It's there's a lot of ways in which it is not the movie that I anticipated, and also kind of a lot of ways exactly the movie that I anticipated based on the trailer. But that's what you get when you have a movie that's 8 different things at once.
Listen. You talk about it being 8 different. It's a Bride of Frankenstein movie. It's Bonnie and Clyde. It's
Moulin Rouge.
It's Moulin Rouge.
It's Fred Astaire.
And you're just there. And you know what? I vibed with it for the most part.
Not just Bonnie and Clyde. Then there's like, I guess, I don't know if it kind of bleeds into just the Bonnie and Clyde description. It's a cops tailing a killer story at the same time too, which is kind of Bonnie and Clyde, but like, they're their own separate subplot sort of thing going on. And so Ida dies, of course, and then she is reinvigorated, as Christian Bale likes to keep saying in there.
Well, that was the term that they used, and
reinvigorated. She gets brought back to life by Dr. Cornelia Euphronius, played by Annette Bening. Always a delight to see her.
I love Annette Bening so much.
It's the classic story of the monster, Frankenstein's monster. He wants a companion. He is alone. He feels like he doesn't die, so he needs something or someone that he can live with that understands him in a way that no one else could.
Yeah.
And that's like the basic idea of what Bride of Frankenstein is. And it's that, and then it's a lot more after that.
Yeah, listen, this movie's got possession, which we'll delve into a little.
It's its own.
It's its own version of possession, which we'll delve into in a little bit.
Yeah,
it
sounds like we're real mixed on how to talk about this.
Listen, we're mixed on how to talk. Feel fairly positive on it, but we're mixed how to talk about it because it is such a mixed.
I wouldn't even say fairly positive altogether. It's just I think we feel positive enough on it where
that's why
I would ultimately recommend watching it. I think that look, one reason why we're kind of confused on how to talk about this is this movie is a mess. This movie is just like when Maggie Gyllenhaal decided to throw 800 ideas into a blender to make this movie. The thing is, what we are trying to describe and talk about and react to is not what's in that blender. It's not what's in that blender. It's she took that blender and she just threw it at the wall. And now we're like, all right, well, I guess we got to talk about these Jackson Pollock drippings one time here.
It's a great way to describe it. But like, I'm not upset about it. Like, I enjoyed the journey overall. And real quick, before I even shout out the leads, got to give, like you already touched on Annette Bening, but like the supporting cast includes Peter Skarsgård, Penelope Cruz, John Magaro,
Jake Gyllenhaal doing a real fun impression of what Fred Astaire used to sound like, because it's funny when
I gotta give Matthew Maher his props. I've loved him for a long time.
You think, Matthew Maher, when I saw him, I was like, oh, it's that guy. He's one of those that guy actors. Yes, he's one of those modern day character actor type faces and voices.
Yes. Although he was memorable voice-wise because of his lisp. But yes, he is very fun in a small role.
Well, it's not just lisp. He has that extra like bit of like nasaliness to it as well. Yes. So that's what I mean. I don't mean like just memorable because he has a lisp. A lot of people have lisps. So it's all of that put together. And what was even weirder is because the few things that I've seen Matthew Maher in, I'm not used to him having hair on the top of his head as he had in this movie. So it took me a moment to realize, I'm like, he sounds like, oh, it's that guy. That's how it works. It's that guy.
No, the supporting cast was great, but let's be honest, we're here for the
Dark Knight reunion.
No, we're here for the already an Oscar winner.
I know, I was joking. And Christian Bale and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I know. And the about to be Oscar winner, that is Jessie Buckley, because that woman is a force of nature.
I personally am pulling for Rose Byrne, but at the same time, like, if Jessie Buckley won, how could I be mad at that?
Exactly.
Right? I could say that with like a lot of acting nominees this year. We got a great crop. Not that that's what we're talking about right now. No. This is a 2026
we'll talk about that next week.
Separately.
Next Tuesday with Paige. Come tune in for that. But this movie, like Jeff described it as a Jackson Pollock painting. He's absolutely right, because it's like, all right, we're here, but then there's this here, and there's this here and there, but there's a lot to love about it. The cinematography is gorgeous. The performances are stellar, and
I actually want to stop when you mentioned the performances are stellar. I want to point out something about Jessie Buckley in particular.
Yeah, go ahead.
First, Christian Bale, I like him in this movie quite a bit. He's able to go. He kind of is in that mode of what Jacob Elordi was able to kind of pull off in Frankenstein as well, of being very sympathetic and quiet and attempting to be peaceful and just wanting to love that he's alive and be around people. But then also these flashes of violence and pain and anger that he's able to channel through in a way that I found to be really, invested me in him a lot. I didn't want to just say interesting, because that's just like a bland, basic word. But Jessie Buckley is just like Maggie Gyllenhaal is doing with the movie, but I think much more successfully in the movie overall. Jessie Buckley is swinging for the fucking fences.
Yes.
And I think that while what's on the page doesn't really connect,
she makes it easier to connect with.
She's hitting home runs.
Yes.
She's hitting heater after heater with every time the ball gets thrown at her, it's doing one of those fucking zigzag things to try to trick you, and then
it's called a break. It's breaking towards you.
Is that what it is? I don't know.
It's called
sports.
A break.
So that's she's knocking it out of the park in a way that I found to be captivating.
Oh,
she's all over the place because the character is all over the place. And she's doing everything that's asked of her and more. She's playing more than one character in a way.
That's what I was about to get through. Like I said, this is one of those things. This is one of those things where this to talk about the movie the rest of the way in a non-spoiler way. She is playing dual roles in this, but it's also just in one body, and it makes it interesting. Well, yes, no,
yeah.
Technically, based off of what the film is presenting you, it is in one body.
Fine, it's in one body, but only because of the bizarre ways that it tries to set it up. Which, by the way, when we talk, without going into like enough detail about it, like, yeah, dual roles, and in dual roles in a way where it's like, oh yes, these are connected, but also how are they connected? Fuck you, we're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things where I'm very big on just go with it.
Yeah, sometimes that's like, kind of where I was with it.
And I think that specific choice needed more explaining. Almost.
For you to go with it.
I didn't want to just go with it. It was something where I'm like I'm fine going with it. I am going with it. I'm understanding how it's affecting, the bride, the way that, she's doing in the real world. I'm kind of understanding it. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm kind of understanding it. And I think that's the problem. I think it needed something to kind of bridge to make me understand more. It kind of sets up a bit in the beginning, but then it doesn't really follow through in a way that pays off. So I'm left with more questions about it than I am answers. So I think that's something that's a knock against it. And once again, it's about what's on the page versus how Buckley is able to light that on fire and shoot it off. She's extraordinary, dude.
She is extraordinary, and she is ultimately the reason why I was able to go with that, because I'm just like,
yeah,
I think there's only like one or two other actresses who, if they were in this role, I could go with it. Like I was going with Buckley. I think Florence Pugh is one. Jennifer Lawrence
is one that would have been able to do that. Sure.
Jennifer Lawrence, most likely. I think she might be able to pull it off.
Probably, yeah.
I think for me, and maybe, and this is a big maybe because I am a fan of hers, but I don't know if she could pull it off. Maybe Carey Mulligan, but for me, that's kind of where the list would end. Like I think those are the only ones who could really pull off that kind of performance.
I think the best way to put it is Buckley is the next in line of, which is not a great line, not a big line, of actors, not just actresses, actors in general, that can plausibly and convincingly play a role that could be seen as a multiple personality.
Oh, one more to add to that list. Role. Emma Stone. Emma Stone is another one I added.
Emma Stone probably could do that. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
So, but that is probably where my list ends. Like, so the fact that she just blew me out of the water, and granted, I've been a fan of hers for a bit. I got to Hamnet. Yeah. I got to Hamnet late in the game. Fucking hell. When I saw it,
I didn't love it as much as some people love it. Right. I think it's very good. I think it's super earnest in a way that I really like. I think it's something that maybe it will grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly because I am an impenetrable force of emotion. So
this is true.
It wasn't able to break through with me in that way. But that's not the movie's fault. That's me. Yeah. She is unbelievable in that movie. She's unbelievable here. She's unbelievable in Wild Rose. She's unbelievable in Maggie Gyllenhaal's previous effort, The Lost Daughter.
Yes.
She is one of the best working actresses we got today.
Yes. And the point I was getting to is, how lucky are we that we are getting this film towards the end of her Oscar campaign? Like, just to...
Oh my God, this movie comes out just when Oscar voting ends. So and you know what? We're talking about how great she is. This extends to the whole movie in terms of just the wild back and forth way stuff makes you feel during it. This is the sort of thing that if it doesn't click with you, I could see you kind of actually maybe hating what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And that goes to the whole movie. It's very much a project where most possible reactions you have to the movie are probably valid. And I say that knowing art is always subjective. There is no way to say that you have the correct opinion on it. But I don't think the movie is a home run by any stretch. I don't even think it's, I think
it's a double.
For everything that I love about the movie, I still think that the way it makes me feel at the end, the questions I have about it, the number of times it makes my eyebrow raise at it, like, with a lot of things during it, threads that are brought up and then maybe never mentioned, or they're just sort of a backdrop for stuff, in a way that feels bizarrely like similar to, and I know this sounds derogatory, it kind of is a bit, Joker. Complete with the same cinematographer and composer, and studio, but it's at least a single, I'd say.
I'd still give it a double, man. I think the performances are what is allowing me to give it the double. I think for me, I think the swings give it the single, and then the performances let you get the second. So
yeah, I think the way that I wrote this, I sent it to you, I sent it to some other people too. Just, when I was just trying to like figure out my thoughts and kind of like writing it out in a way that made me understand it. I'd say, I said, it's a monster movie. It's a romance. It's gangsters on the run. It's an ode to classic Fred Astaire type movie musicals. It's all rolled into a 2-hour experience. It's part Bonnie and Clyde, part Frankenstein, part Moulin Rouge. It's campy. It's cringe. It's captivating. It's exhausting. I think this movie is incredibly fun. I think it's also wildly irritating.
Yes.
And I think that it bounces around so much because it has so many ideas in its head. Maggie Gyllenhaal is taking the critical acclaim and Oscar notice from her first film and doing what so many young in their directorial efforts filmmakers do, and they go buck wild with their sophomore effort. And I think that she didn't fully succeed, but it's impossible to
fail
ignore.
whatsoever. She didn't fail.
Yeah, I said, what is it? Like overall, based on the promise that this movie had, I'm a little disappointed by it. I'm a little disappointed by The Bride. I love that it made an effort. I didn't love how it ended up. I'm reading what I wrote because I think
You're good.
It's unique and wild and worth at least one watch. Hell, maybe it has a cadence that can grow on me as time goes by because it's a very odd movie with the way it's structured and the tone of it and the beats and whatnot. It's not just a traditional, 3-act story. But ultimately, I prefer ambitious failures that keep me interested over a flat base hit.
Yes.
I'd rather you strike out trying something new and different than do the same thing that I've seen 1,000 times done flatly, but you got your point across.
Yeah.
So
and for that reason, we actually have the same grade. It's a 3 out of 5.
We are positive.
We are positive.
If we were Rotten Tomatoes, we'd be a tomato.
Yes, we'd be a not Rotten Tomato. But the reason and what you just covered is why I brought up do you think you'd watch it a second time? Because I do think it's one of those films that could probably get better on rewatch because there was so many ideas and expectations that the trailer kind of fed you, and it's not that movie. And that's not a complaint at all. It really is.
Marketing should never be should never actually be what you judge a movie on. I think that it helps in terms of when I said I was disappointed ultimately by what I was anticipating. When going into a film, you need to take it on face value. You need to be able to take it for what it is, not what you wanted it to be.
Yes.
So in that respect, what it is a movie that I was honestly, I was wavering between actually being a rotten 2.5 and a 3. But I think the things that I like enough and my adherence to admiring ambition help put it over the top, because ultimately, if it's a 2.5-star movie to me and it has that stuff, I don't think I'd recommend it.
Right.
I'm recommending the movie. So if that's the case, I think that ultimately me wanting to recommend someone to watch it even once, to me, is ultimately a positive affirmation of the film.
Yeah, totally agree. But with that, folks, that was our review of The Bride. It's been, like I said, it's been a busy week over here. So remember to like and subscribe to everything we're doing over here at Waffle Entertainment. We had a couple reactions. First one being the Scary Movie 6 trailer. Because that first teaser dropped. Yesterday, the Lanterns trailer dropped. So be sure to check out that trailer reaction. Then
dropped early.
Yeah, because of a leak. And also another movie coming out this week, Hoppers. Go check out that review. You can go see that there. And as always, I'll plug it. The Daily Prophet Cast, mine and Amr and Moses' Harry Potter podcast. We talk all things Potter while also saying fuck J.K. Rowling. So, with that, folks, I am Matt. That is Jeff.
I am.
Be sure to check out other reviews and reactions we have coming up. I know next week I am seeing Project Hail Mary. I don't know if Jeff is getting a second screening of it.
I don't know if I'm going to get a second screening either. I just was not able to make it to that first one, which I was disappointed by because I would have been able to see it a few weeks in advance, and I've heard nothing but glowing things. Obviously, we can't say whether or not we actually like it or not until we see it ourselves. Otherwise, our opinions aren't valid, but I'm excited.
Yeah, but with that, this is another real review. We'll see you next time.